Ecuador, Orchid Paradise. Ecuador, a small country of 256,370 square kilometers in South America, has been recognized worldwide for its enormous biodiversity thanks to its many ecosystems. From a tourist point of view, there is an important niche in ecotourism in the country, and within that niche, orchids make up a very interesting reason to visit this country. Orchids grow in most parts of the planet. However, they are probably more abundant in the mountains of the equatorial zone than in any other region. That is particularly evident in Ecuador. Orchids grow on the stems, forks, and branches of trees, on fallen trunks. They spread over rocks and hang on cliffs. Some orchids like decaying stalks of palms. Some prefer much sunlight or high trees.
I have a lot of friends over the years that have come to Ecuador, especially to see the flowers, to be able to go on tours and see orchids in their native habitats and see the banks of certain kinds of orchids on the roadsides that you think are common in Ecuador but are very rare in the rest of the world. So I'm really happy to be here to be able to take different tours of the country. I want to see the different areas of the country and what kind of different plants grow there. So I'm really thrilled to be here to be able to look at, orchids are my favorite. And they're also different. You know, there's different sizes and shapes and colors, but they've got more orchids in Ecuador than any other place on the earth. So everywhere you go, you can see something different.
So my friends, that's the end of the orchid route here in Ecuador. What do you think about that? You enjoy it?
It was a very exciting trip. I was very surprised at how easy it was to get to so many different species, not only of orchids, but bromeliads, gesneriids, even cactus. Didn't expect to see cactus on an orchid tour in Ecuador, but they were there. Beautiful, beautiful country, very easy and very rewarding.
Yeah, the orchid route is really wonderful. I've seen so many species here. I'm a professor of biology in the United States and I study an orchid genus called Pleurothallus. This is my 4th time in Ecuador, and every time I come I see new species that maybe haven't even been described yet. And of course, if you're not interested in Pleurothallus, it doesn't matter, because maybe the country has a total of 4,100 or more orchids, so you can see big orchids, small orchids, epiphytes, lithophytes, all sorts of different things, and I really recommend it.
For the orchid lovers, Ecuador offers specialized tours for orchid observation with English-speaking guides, both in situ and on specialized farms.
Juan Pablo, what's this?
Oh, this is a species of the genus Celipogon. This genus is all over.
One of the beauties of traveling through Ecuador to observe orchids and other plants and nature in general is the small size of the country and the ease of access to orchid-rich areas. There are always nearby accommodations for the adventure lover as well as for the demanding tourist. This is what we call the route of the orchids. Remember, Ecuador is easy to reach from the United States and Europe. It only takes 4 hours flying time from Miami, and there are daily direct flights from Europe to Quito and Guayaquil. So, we would like to invite you to visit Ecuador and live the experience of our vast biodiversity, and if you are an orchid lover, you have the greatest variety of orchids right here in Ecuador. For all this, Ecuador is the #1 orchid country in the world. Life at its purest.